What up, where's your man Dream with Dream Motivates? Welcome to the Entrepreneur Blueprint. Right here at the Entrepreneur Blueprint once again, where we try to find all the entrepreneurs that's shaking and baking. And man, I grabbed one. I met her in Dallas, but she's out there in Houston, native from New York, and she's killing it. And I want to introduce you guys to one of the top real estate agents in Houston, Texas, Miss Veneisha Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Veneisha's in the building. What up, sis?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Shout out. Let's talk about energy, right?
Ooh.
Before we go into anything else, let's talk about energy and how powerful energy is. So let's be mindful that your network is your net worth, right?
Absolutely.
And this is what happens when you just happen to open up your mouth and introduce yourself and say what's going on. Next thing you know, you got 472 things in common. You start cracking, you start doing some things together, and just vibrations happen. And that popped off. Can you describe what happened miraculously when we met at a conference here in Dallas before you went back to Houston?
So we met and we ended up staying up to probably 3:00 in the morning, just chopping it up. The energy was flowing, exchanging ideas. We was just at it, back and forth. We didn't want it to end.
Right. Like, okay, well, it's time to go.
Yeah.
How you'd be like, all right, it's time to go. And then you'll go and it's time to go, So it's like 6 of us just masterminding until 3:00 in the morning. And it was just so intriguing. Just your personality, some of your background. And I do want to brag. I'm going to brag on you because you told me I have to get it cracking. I have to brag on what you got going on, where you came from. And let's just kind of give a short side of the story so people can understand. So background. So let them know where you're from, you know what I'm saying, where you grew up at, shout out to your people.
All right. So I'm originally from upstate New York, Utica, New York. Born and raised, relocated here to Houston about 5 years ago. So 2015, 2016, hit the ground running when I got here.
And when you were coming from New York going into Houston, what, just let them know, because you did a leap. You were in corporate America for a minute, right? Where you're working, and then you went into entrepreneurship, which you might as well say real estate, because that is entrepreneurship. You have a business within a brokerage, so that's your own business. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that leap. What made you want to do it? Because this is the Entrepreneur Blueprint.
So, like everybody else, I worked the job. I would be there, but I would complain about the job. It just wasn't feeding my soul, and I felt it. So I would, go to the next job. Maybe I needed a better job. Maybe I needed, more vacation time. I needed more pay. I got all those things. Yeah. And I still wasn't happy. And I said, you know what? Enough is enough. And I just stepped out on faith. I talked to my best friend, and I talked to my mom, and I talked to my creator. And they gave me that green light, and it was off from the races from there.
What they call it? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? What was that? You know what? I'm out. What was, if you don't mind, I would like to hear the intricate details.
All right, true story. The job that I worked at the time, we couldn't have our phones. So because we couldn't have our phones, I obviously couldn't answer clients. And, I was trying to do the real estate at the same time. And I would never forget, I was in the middle of texting a client, and they wanted to go out and see a house. And I was like, man, my lunch break, can we do it another day? When people need somewhere to live, they're not waiting on you. They're going to go to the next person. Yeah. So my manager ended up coming around and was like, put your phone away. And I was just like, I wake up every day and be great for y'all.
Right. I can't get
them on. I can't get 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't get 5 minutes to respond to somebody. So I said, you know what? As soon as she left, probably about an hour later, I walked to her desk and I gave her my notice. I said, I'm done.
See, I want to chop it up about that for a second, because at the end of the day, I don't think, now what you did was very, very unorthodox.
Yes.
Right? But it usually takes somebody getting fired. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, what's plan B? You took offense. You didn't go off of defense. You took offensive play. You did an offensive play. You played the first move. Mm-hmm. And if you could chime in, and now that, we're going to go back, now that you have become who you become because you did that, what would you tell somebody that's on that's on the verge? Like, what would you tell somebody?
You got to feel it. You got to feel it. Create a plan. Know who you truly want to be. Know who you want to be. Know where you want to go, and create that support system.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what. Like, I know we all kind of. I don't need nobody. You need somebody.
Yeah.
We all need somebody. Create that support system. That's why before I did it, I was feeling that way for a while. I talked to my best friend and my mom, and I'm just like, I am not happy.
Man, that's not good.
If I make a decision, will y'all back me up? They like, we got you. So I was that much more comfortable giving my notice because I already made that, I already had that talk. I already was in that position. I just didn't know how to do it. I was, I was like straddling the fence.
Yeah,
I kept straddling.
And see, my thing is like in the blueprint, I think that people have to just make first of all, you gotta make a decision, right? Yes. So I can't calculate it. It doesn't calculate right with me when I think about and I always have to make this disclaimer, right? There's a disclaimer I gotta say because some people say, "Oh, you job bashing." I'm not job bashing. I am not. So here's the disclaimer I always got to make. I'm not talking to the person that is working somewhere where they are very happy. Remember, so you say you weren't happy.
Yes.
So I'm talking about the people who are not happy, the people who are going to 9-to-5s or 8-to-4s or whatever the case may be, and being unappreciated, and you're not being celebrated. You're just being tolerated. And I'm talking to those individuals. So my thing is to make the decision, right? So the question is, and I want you to answer, why does people give more ability and energy to their job? So at a job, you got to be here. You got to clock in at 7 or you got to clock in at 8. You can't leave till 5. Yes, sir. They don't go to breaks. They don't go on breaks for they got 30, 45 minutes. They don't do none of that. But right when they start working for themselves, they be like, I get to it. What's up with that?
I don't know. We all do it. I think I did it for a while as well. I didn't live to my full potential for a long time. When I got that freedom of time, I kind of like squandered it a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't got to do nothing. But I think when we work a job and we do everything precise how we're supposed to do it, that job is a sense of security. We know at the end of 2 weeks, we're going to get a check. Whether we did a good job or a bad job, we clocked in. We're going to get a paycheck. But when it comes to ourselves, that's why I said it's a lot about who you believe you are.
Yeah.
It's that mindset. Who you believe you are, what you believe you could become, and how hungry you are to like make it happen.
You know what I think it is? And you chime in, let me know. I think because I have, as an entrepreneur coach certified with Eric Thomas, and I've just talking to entrepreneurs all my life pretty much. What I've come to the conclusion is I don't think it's that. I don't think it's what you said. I think it's programming. I think it's structure.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, dang, 6th grade, 8th grade, going through high school, there was always a structure. First period, second period, you got 5 minutes in the middle to get to your class. You had another 5 minutes. You had 30, 45 minutes to go eat lunch. I was like, yo, was they programming us for the job? So now, when you don't have that structure or that program for your own business, it's like, you be disarray. So my thing is, all right, cool. If you need a structure, start a structure. You know what I'm saying? Just start like, okay, when I leave, I'm going to wake up at 8, do the whole thing for yourself. Now, instead of 30-minute lunch, give yourself a 2-hour lunch. Go to the gym in the morning. So give yourself a structure. What do you think?
I agree. I completely agree. It is a form of programming. It's like to work 40 years, 40 hours, and get 40% of your pay.
I'm out.
You know what I mean? It is programming is a large part of it.
Yeah.
But that's also coming to that mindset.
Yeah.
We have to unlearn and relearn what we really need to succeed.
Get on the new program. Like right now, you got the iPhone 12?
That's the XR, the 10.
The 10. Oh, you on the same joint I'm on. Okay.
Keep up with the
but you don't have the 1.
No.
You don't have the 2. You got the newest, So we need to get the newer technology or the new, like today, this is the newer way to live. Like real talk. The reason I got this podcast because I want somebody that's sitting on their couch or if y'all at the gym right now, listen to this right now, listen. I'm about to show you how Shorty went from working for somebody. We don't got to talk about the job. You know what I'm saying? But you did the Mark McGuire. You quit. You was like, who's coming with me? But nobody came. You was by yourself. My man had one person come with him. It was a guy. She quit too. But anyway, and now you killing it in the game, right? So that's what this podcast is all about. I want to just find out the hacks, the secret codes, the things that what do you do as a young black woman in America to overcome some adversities? Because I don't want no excuses. Oh man, women can't. No, I ain't trying to hear that. It's a lot of y'all queens. Y'all can level up like this queen did. So
absolutely,
that's what this is about. And I want to go right in and do a deep dive. So now you did the Mark McGuire. You left. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about life right now. Now you out there.
Life now. So there was growing pains, of course.
Okay.
Because like we talked about that structure, I didn't give myself that same energy of waking up. I was like, I can get up at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't gonna get in trouble by nobody. I'm my own boss.
Hey, yeah.
But then it started to reflect in my life and what I was, what I was achieving. So then I had to kind of buckle down, and then that same support system started to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
What we doing, baby? Like, what we doing?
Yeah.
You said you wanted to do this for this, and I said I got your back. But what we doing?
Yeah.
So that support team was very, very crucial in my growth because they started to hold me accountable. They started to push me and really kind of help me change my mindset to understand, like, do I truly believe in myself? And if I do, is my actions reflecting my belief in me?
Nice. Does your action? Oh, that was cold. Does your actions reflect your belief in yourself? So this is why I always say, nobody's going to believe in you. And you know what? People can sniff if you don't believe in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
They can sniff it out. And this is why I teach people about marketing. You know what I'm saying? Not to give myself a shameless plug, but I will at this point. This is sponsored by Dream Media Agencies. Welcome to our studio. We right here in Cut. So we back at it right now. And go into your marketing, your brand, your perception. Your first impression is your lasting impression.
Yes.
I need everybody to work and say that with me. Your first impression is your lasting. I didn't say last.
Lasting.
Your lasting. Now, here's the thing. I am very attentive to make my lasting impression on anybody.
Absolutely.
That is very crucial to me.
Very
the
important.
Day that I gave Des Dap, my brother behind the camera, I said, I hope this brother never forget me. Now, I don't know if I won't go see him the next day. But I said, I want to sow something into this brother.
Yeah.
That at least he said, man, I met this dude the other day, man. He
Lock
broke
in.
He gave me some juice. And Des told me he needed a mentor in his life after I told him that. And I said, man, it'll be an honor.
It's amazing.
It'll be an honor. Not
it's
like,
amazing.
oh man, okay, I gotta get to you. No, when somebody asks you that, that's an honor. Yeah. That's an honor. Like
that's
me?
A compliment.
Like me? Like, yeah, bro, I said I've been looking for a brother, it's hard for a brother to say that to another brother.
Yes.
Like we ain't trying to be like, but it's an honor. So I gotta be like, most definitely. And so now it's my obligation to pour into Des as much as I can. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Same way Eric Thomas does me. You know what I mean? E.T. told me that he said, you don't choose your mentees. Your mentees choose you. So when it's time for you to be called upon, it is your obligation and duty with your alignment in your life to make sure you mentor that young man or young lady or whatever. So when he hit me with that, I heard E.T. voice like, yep, go get him.
Yep.
And so my thing is, if you could mentor a young lady right now, what would you tell them if they're thinking about entrepreneurship? Like they're scared. Because it's scary. You're out there in the water.
I actually have somebody reached out to me recently to ask me to be their mentor. So I'm actually dealing with that now.
Yeah, it's tough.
She wants to become a realtor. She is, kind of in the same transition that I was. She is in corporate America, and she now wants to become a realtor. So I tell her the same thing I said, like, what's that support team do you have? Do you have support?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be days that you don't believe in yourself. There's going to be days that you're not working hard. There are going to be days that you're going to question your decision. Like, did I do the right thing? You're going to be afraid.
Yeah.
There's a big transition that takes place. And we can all be strong, but sometimes things just happen in life and you need support, you need help, you need guidance. So right now I have her building that structure, build that foundation.
That's good.
Build that foundation, and then we're going to talk about your goals and your expectations.
Yeah. And so what happens is now that, and we'll do another shameless plug, shout out to Dream Media again, because Miss Veneisha Brown has chose Dream Media to do all of her branding and marketing. So we'll probably show some cool stuff on the screen for her right now. I always talk about, and we're big boys and girls, so I want you guys to understand the biological and chemistry cartoon I'm about to paint for you right now. So at the end of the day, I want to break down two things: conception, all right, and then birth. Right, so we're gonna break. I'm gonna get a little deep. Conception and then birth. Now, all right. So a lot of people were conceived, but didn't make it past the trimesters. Therefore, they were not birthed. All right. So there was miscarriages. The mother might have got sick. The baby got, just didn't make it.
Just something happened.
So what I think about Veneisha Brown as a brand, right? The conception of this amazing woman that God has already called you to be a long time ago, when like it was already written for you, right? When somebody comes to me and say, "Yo, I want that," so now it's my obligation to say, "All right, at this point, there's a conception because you're thinking about this woman that, I want to do this." You share some very deep, dope things that what you want to do with your nonprofit. We'll get into that and all the stuff that you're doing. So when I heard that, I said, whoa, that's a conception. The birth, in my opinion, the birthday, and that's why I wish I could use in Houston. I couldn't be there with you. But the birthday for you is the day that you meet your brand.
Yes.
The day that you meet your logo.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because think about Nike without the check.
Exactly.
I want to just think about it. I would not wear, I'm not wearing whatever the shoes look like. If it don't got the check on it, I'm out. And both of us, ironically, have on Nikes today. Yeah. So let's talk about the conception, right? Versus birth. Les Brown said the richest place in the world is in the grave, because in the grave, people died with their dreams and ambitions. They had thoughts, but they didn't put it out there. How do you feel? What's your output on when you first seen your brand, you first seen the logo, you're like, yo, wait a minute, this is everything, because I'm like, okay, because I make sure everybody, I show your logo to about 5 or 6 people. I tell them, rip me apart, and all of them were like, ding, 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 ding. And I was like, cool. And I sent it to you, and I'm like, okay, what are you gonna say? She's like, but what's the reaction? I mean, how you feel about that?
Okay, so initially, I was nervous getting involved in it because I'm naturally a private person. So kind of being able to now brand and market and put myself out there was already a leap. Right. So when you talked to me about the logo and it just was like, all right, you sent it to me. I was in Walmart. You sent it to me and I'm like, start dancing like, yes, this is me. It embodies me. Like, it's me. And I feel like once I seen it and we started doing the work, I was just like, this is me. Like, I'm coming out on, like you said, rebirth. I'm being birthed again. And I'm able to tell my story how I want to tell it.
See, the fear, because if you don't mind me sharing, the fear is, 2 fears that people are fearing, right? Number 1 fear is failure. But the crazy thing is, the other fear is success.
Yes.
Right? So that was your fear. So you're like, okay, when I become this superhero, right, with my superpowers that you're able to do, now I'm going to be called upon.
Yes.
And sometimes Clark Kent just want to stay Clark Kent. He don't want to be Superman all the time.
That part.
He's like, man, let me just, and this is a perfect analogy for you because she usually has on her glasses. So, she'll put her glasses on, she's Clark Kent. Then she takes them off, she becomes Superwoman, right? It's super funny. And she has an amazing personality. And I want to just bring that personality out, you know what I'm saying? Let it out. And then, when Clark is chilling, he's chilling with Lois Lane. He's back Clark Kent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's me all day.
So as your superpower is what we call in the DISC assessment, I always talk about right now. I noticed that your superpower is organization. I am amazed about how organized your calendar is, all the stuff. And if you could help people that are not organized, like me, can you give us a nugget in business? Like, what do we need to do? Like,
it's kind of it's a mixture of things. Sometimes some people just don't have that attribute, so it's kind of hard to do so. But how I started to get organized and what made me become organized was, like I said, my growing pains. I was missing stuff. So if I really wanted to obtain the things that I wanted to obtain, I said, all right, what I got to do? So instead of writing a diary every day, I made like a voice memo at the end of the day. And I would talk to myself about the things that I either learned or that I did.
Voice memo.
Yeah. So I would, you got the little voice recorder on your phone. I'd get on my phone at night and I just talk.
Oh.
It wasn't to know. It just was like, what'd you do today? What'd you learn? What new lead did you do? Or just whatever. How'd you feel? What are you grateful for today? What lesson did you learn? What do you look? Anything. And then when I would play it back at the end of the week and I would measure like, what did I really get done? It was like, all right, I got to do something here. So then I would, instead of trying to make all these great big changes, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I started to do things one day at a time to implement it. Every Monday, I'm going to make sure I do this. Yeah. And then once I mastered that, I would add on Tuesday.
Nice.
Then once I mastered that, I'd add on Wednesday.
Nice.
So then I slowly began to kind of chip away at, I guess, my shortcomings.
Yeah.
And then it just became second nature to me.
That's good. I mean, I struggle. I struggle with organization. I struggle with structure. I feel like I'm getting better, but at the end of the day, man, like seeing you, how you got, man, it's ridiculous. Like the girl got some organization skills, which is beyond my most best. On my best day, I couldn't even try to catch it. I want to talk about you getting to the bag because you most definitely are getting to the bag. I know people want to say, okay, so what has she done? What's going on? So let's go ahead and chime in on the accolades. So you got into real estate, and you got busy.
Had to.
Ground going. So let's talk about your journey. So let's talk about the year you got in and where you at now.
Ooh, okay. So in real estate, they teach you to tap into your sphere of influence, your family, your friends, the people you talk to. But because I wasn't from Houston, I had a tougher time. Like I didn't have a sphere of influence. So what I did was I started to just go to any networking thing. I'd get on Eventbrite, Meetup. I didn't care.
Hold on, let's get some nuggets. Because you know what? I didn't think about that. Eventbrite.
Yes.
All right, so Eventbrite.
I went on Eventbrite, so they have like your tabs, whether you want to go to parties, business, networking, whatever it was. I'd look up business, networking. I'd find some event. And I'd go to it. I'd go by myself. My best friend was an introvert, so she wasn't going. I had to figure it out. Like, okay,
solo it out.
So I would go. I would meet people, and then it's one thing to network and meet somebody, but it's in the follow up. So I would continue follow up, but instead of just following up on a business tip, I would follow up personally. They would invite me out to go work out or for yoga, or they invite me to church, and I'd go. So then now I've built a relationship and now I'm building my sphere of influence. I'm building it. So I did that for a while. I did it for like a year.
I think you most definitely had an advantage point because number one, and I know, can you feel free because I feel like this, I'm from Philly. You're from New York. Mm-hmm. Coming from New York, where it's like Hunger Games every second, yes. And then coming to a laid back place like Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you had an advantage?
I think I had an advantage in the sense of my boldness.
Okay,
but I was still kind of like, it was a culture shock for me because when I first got here, some people were like, you're so abrasive. I'm like, what?
What? But you need to be.
And I didn't understand it because where I come from, we all the same. Okay. So no one ever reads you like, well, you're abrasive or, you're kind of so forthcoming.
So you hit up Eventbrite. You went out to all these events. And what else is some nuggets? Like for people like, you know what I'm saying? You're listening. Like you're not even from there. You can go into a whole nother city. Yeah. Check out what you did.
So I also did Meetup. Meetup was something that was different than Eventbrite, but it was everybody that was looking for the same thing. So I would join genuine things that meant something to me. Like I said, I would go work out or I would go to the same gym all the time. My dentist or anybody that I would bump into, I'd spark a conversation, give my business card. I would literally just network with any and everybody.
Wow.
When I went to the grocery store, my cashier, thank you. I'd give her my card. If I went out to eat, when I pay the bill, I leave my business card.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
If you or any of your other, coworkers here are looking for a place, I am a realtor here, I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah.
You will never know what I do and how I can help you if I don't open my mouth and tell you.
The fortune is in the follow. Let's talk about your follow-up system.
So my follow-up, it wasn't always the greatest. It really, really wasn't. It wasn't always the greatest. But I learned along the way to not just connect with people just to connect and give you a business card. I learned to connect with people who spoke to my spirit and we connected energy-wise where we can actually connect on more than one level. And kind of how we met. Yeah. So if we can connect on more than one level, then I know that's a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
This isn't temporary. It's going to be a long-term relationship and something great is going to come out of it because we have more than one thing in common.
Yeah. I go to these networking events all the time, and I will say that it's almost impossible. Especially when I walk in, I'm on the stage, I'm speaking. It's almost impossible to follow with everybody. But I'm purposely looking for the top 5. I always call them my fave 5, right? Yep. When I walk in somewhere, it's going to be 5 people at least that I'm be like, yo, we had that connect. Everything was dope. Let's keep it popping. And I make sure I attach myself because, you're in a room full of hundreds of people. There's no way, you know what I mean? So then I hope, I'm always giving. So I give something away. I make sure I give some knowledge or my perception is what's up. And I encourage them. So here's what I do also. When I say, hit me on my DM to let's further network. Yeah. Right. If they're hungry, I appreciate the hunger. Yeah. So they hit me in my DM. Okay, my 5 will turn to 14, so 18, whatever. Because I hit all those people, and they still. I say, see, you weren't hungry, right? Yeah. So the 14, yo, Dream, what's up, man? I met you the other day. Remember me? I was a dude with the blah, and I like boom, and now we're good. So on your follow-up system, is there a certain, structure or a product or a system that you can, say, how do you, what do you use?
So what I do is I try to make sure I hit them within 24 hours of meeting them.
Nice.
That's a given. Within 24 hours. Sometimes if you could do it directly after the event, that's even better. Yeah. But more so when I've sat down with you and had a conversation with you, when I follow up, I'm going to say something about our conversation. Like say you tell me, this weekend I got my son's baseball game. When I hit you up, I'm going to talk about your child's baseball game so that you know that I was listening. How the ball game go? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know that I was listening. Yeah. You know that I was truly engaged in what you were saying. Yeah. So that we can now have a dialogue. Yeah. Because now you're going to message me back to tell me how that game was.
So it's funny that you said that. I use the follow-up. I have a follow-up training program that I use very quickly. It's easy to do if you're a football fan. You know anything about football? No. You don't know nothing? You know anything? You know what a touchdown is, right?
That.
All right. Do you know that? Okay. So there's
in the field goal.
There's 4 quarters. Do you know there's 4 quarters in a football game?
I know that part.
Okay. All right. Cool. So as long as you know that, we're good.
Yeah, I got the basics.
So real quick training for anybody that's listening, entrepreneurship, the fortune is in the follow-up. And so in the first quarter, you want to win. You can win the game in the first quarter. Your first quarter is 24 hours, just like you said. Yep. If 48 hours has passed, that's the second quarter. Now you have a little bit less chance than trying to win. See, the problem is people try to win the game in the fourth quarter. Yep. That's not how you win the game. Mm-hmm. You got to go hard in the first quarter, hard in the second, hard in the third, hard in the fourth. So when you chime in, you're going to hit them in 24 hours, like you said.
Yes.
If something happens and you just couldn't get to them in 24 hours, you doggone sure better get to them in 48 hours.
Yes.
But the heighten lowers of the intensity of when y'all first meet.
It's keeping that energy.
Now you're trying to go into 72 hours. Like, man, it's been 3 days since I met you.
It's that momentum.
Yep. Now it's 4 days. You might just hit a Hail Mary on the 4th day. But typically after 4 days, it's like, man, you wasn't even interested. Right?
Stale.
It's like 5th day, and the person you call them like, okay, who are you? It's like, man,
they got to remember you.
And so I try to tell people is, man, start winning the game in the first quarter, straight up. And so you will hit it right on the head. You literally follow up with them 24 hours.
Got to.
I love it. So let's talk about your journey. Now you're in, you're going to the Eventbrite, you're going out to network, and how's business? How's life going right now?
Life is good. So as I started to network more, I started to meet more people. The more people that I met, I always felt like somebody already knew a realtor. So I started to second guess myself. Well, why would they choose me? But they chose me because I created a bond with them outside of just business. I was more than just a realtor to them. I was more than just, hey, I got to call you because I need to buy a house right now. I started getting invited to birthday parties.
Nice.
Graduations.
Yeah.
So when I'm there, they're introducing me like, hey, this is my friend such and such. Oh, she's also a realtor.
Yeah.
And then that's just how it kind of grew from there. But I had to kind of like get out of my own way, per se, and just step out and put myself out there, go and meet people, and just be genuine. It wasn't, I didn't go with like a script and like, here's my business card. I'm a realtor. Call me.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely trying to be interested in you and what you have going on to see how I can be more of use to you versus just a realtor.
Nice.
You're going to buy a house not every year.
Yeah.
So where else do I fit?
So let's talk about your strategy. So to realtors out there, she had a very interesting strategy of how she began, and she got started very quickly. And if you could just share, a quick story of, I think you got in 2018. Did you get in real estate 2018?
I got my license in 2017, but I didn't really buckle down and focus until 2018.
Okay, so let's talk about the journey. So, because I want people, the whole thing about, because sometimes I could say something and it could be like, man, can't nobody get on stage, talk to 1,000 people, so whatever. What comes easy to me, you know what I'm saying, but harder for most. But your way, you know what I'm saying, I love how you did it. So if you could share with us on the Entrepreneur Blueprint exactly how you started your business and how you got stuff cracking.
Okay. So I didn't enter the real estate game, selling a bunch of houses. Like I said, I didn't have that sphere of influence. I didn't have a bunch of friends that owned houses. I was, 20-something years old. So I didn't know anybody buying houses. So I focused my attention on rentals. There were apartment buildings that was full, and I'm wondering, how did they get full? Who put them there? Or they walked in by themselves and, went and got an apartment. Rental houses. So I focused on the rentals. And then as I started to learn the rental game, I ended up wanting a certain group because I knew eventually they're going to buy.
Got you.
So I tailored to the rentals.
Powerful.
I would get them into either a rental house or an apartment. The apartment complex pays you. So my offer to people that needed a place, my services are free to you. Who don't like something free?
Correct.
I would either give them a gift card or something of the nature. I'd, help them with the specials. But I knew eventually in a year, they were either going to move from that apartment and move to another apartment. So I'm going to get paid again.
Yeah.
Or they were going to be ready to buy.
Brilliant.
One of the two.
And I want to continue that, but what made you have the eureka moment to do that? What was?
At first, it was because it was easy. The money was coming in faster than somebody buying, because when you buy a house, it takes you 30 to 45 days. And because I was so new in the game, I was like, I need money now. Rentals, I closed that rental house. I got a check in 2 weeks.
Got you.
So when the check started coming, I was like, oh.
Okay, it's getting real.
So if I got 2 of these, what happens if I get 10? So then it started to intrigue me. So I started going on Craigslist. It's free. I like free. So I would just post the specials, post the houses or the, apartment, go take some pictures. I'd go to the apartment complex, talk to the leasing agent. Hey, anybody that comes here and you can't service them, maybe you don't have the availability or they don't qualify, send them to me, please.
Boom.
And I just would go back at least every week. I might bring them some donuts. I just go and tell them I'm going to, show their place on my Instagram. They love that. I go, say hi to everybody, make a relationship. Next thing you know, if they can't help somebody, they send them to me.
Powerful.
And then anytime, they send somebody to me, I go back as a nice little thank you. I might buy lunch for everybody in the office.
I love it. And see, this is just, and I feel like some of this, it's being taught. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I feel like it can't be taught. I mean, that was, what you did was called reciprocity. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to understand, like, what you put out is, you know what I'm saying?
What you going to get back.
Like, that part, what I have found out, and I found this out just now. What I found out was that after you guys go to real estate school, boys and girls, right? They do not teach you anything about marketing yourself. I was like, yo, and I told Dez this the other day. I said, Dez, listen, man, we just got to go after real estate agents. They need our help, bro. And Dez was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And we just went after real estate agents literally like about a month and a half ago. Why? Because shout out to T Baby, my wife, finally got her license. You know what I'm saying? And I was noticing the growing pains that she was having. So like they literally said, you know what? You got your license, jump into the Pacific Ocean, which is very deep.
No, for real. It's just like
it's just like, and she's like, and I was like, yo, I got it. Cause really now it's Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. Everybody, whoever need a crib, holla at me. Whoever need a house, rent a home, holla at. Mm-hmm. So now I'm getting learned, but I've noticed they don't have marketing.
Nope.
They don't know how to fish in the sea. Really? Like you in order to fish, you got to have the right bait, right? You got to understand how to brand yourself, how to bring awareness to yourself, how to, get people to understand your personality, who you are. They some people might not gel with you.
Yes.
They might want to get with her or him, but I guarantee there's a lot of, like, you're looking straight up like Olivia Pope on your card. Shout out to the photo shoot. She did amazing on her photo shoot, the video shoot. We picked out the Olivia Pope. Maybe we'll put the Olivia Pope picture up right now. And I was like, yo, this is your personality. This is a cool little, deal. And I want people in real estate or any business to understand, if you don't invest in yourself, man, people can sniff. They can sniff that. Oh, I ain't gonna believe in you. You don't believe in yourself. You looking you got the first business card ever made on Vistaprint. Shout out. Look, I get it, but you need to invest in yourself. Okay, do something and please get on social media. So, 2019, 2020. How did we get it popping? How'd it go?
2019, 2020 was same thing, but then I started to get a taste for the luxury clientele.
There we go.
Because then, like I said, I knew eventually they were going to buy. So if I know you could afford this amount of rent, I know what type of house you could afford too. So I know your taste now. And then I know what I'm going to get you in the future.
There you go.
So I tend to that luxury clientele because customer service kind of became my thing.
Yeah.
I like to tend to them. I like to be a part of their lives. Like it just gelled. It spoke to me.
So you're very aware, like so customer service, is that your thing? Like if you go out and you're looking for customer service, are you kind of grading them? Like, are you grading their customer service?
Yep, in any and everything that I do.
So we want to pause right here because we most definitely want her to grade Dream Media Agency right now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get the plug in. We're working hard up in here. How was your experience? Because this is your last day in school, boys and girls. You know what I'm saying? She get to go back. So how was your experience?
Red carpet.
Man.
That one word, red carpet.
Come on, red carpet?
That's it.
Come on with the red carpet.
Red carpet.
That's what's up. That means a lot to me because you could have.
I felt like a celebrity.
Said yellow carpet or something.
I felt like a celebrity all weekend.
That's what's up.
I felt like I was literally the only client, even though I know I'm not.
Yeah, we actually had to get her in with a couple of clients. Like, hey, I'm sorry, but she came in, she came out. But
I still felt like the only client I felt like I had the attention that I was supposed to have. I was treated the way I was supposed to be treated. Like I said, red carpet. It sums it all up.
We appreciate that. Thank you for the small break, and we're back to your show. So now we're talking about you 5-starring your situation. So now you're getting you sold, because 2019, 2020, you went after the rental space. You sold some houses, but I do want to talk about that, your strategy and how it ended up for you. I'm talking to realtors right now.
So with the rental people, what I did was I continued to deal with them throughout the year. I didn't just put them in an apartment and then all of a sudden forget about them. And then when their lease is up, say, hey, you ready to buy?
Got you.
I created a newsletter. Like, now there's all kind of platforms and technology. It'll automatically send you stuff every quarter. Send them a newsletter like, hey, did you know this?
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that?
That's pretty good.
Little things that kind of keep yourself relevant, because the email is going to cross. They're going to see your name. And then there may be a little bit of information in there, because we don't know what our clients are doing every day, what they're looking up, or, what has changed in their situation that may cause them to start looking up houses early before their lease ends. So if you wait till their lease ends to try to get back in their lives, you probably could have missed the mark a long time ago.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly talking to them, constantly dealing with them, and you're being more than just their realtor, it goes a long way. So when some of the storms would hit, I would contact all of my clients and let them know where some resources were.
Wow.
So like when, we had the freeze. Do you need water? There are resources here, and at these locations.
That's dope.
Do you need help? Like, I would send all of that stuff out. It had nothing to do with real estate. I was genuinely concerned for them as a person and wanted them to have their resources.
So we don't got to talk about how much bags you make, because we're going to keep that off the table. But I'm telling you, the girl made significant amount. 2019, I could see the growth in 2020. But you made a decision in 2020. And I just want to give a little shout out, give a little chime, because I want people to, because I know you guys are going to ask questions. Hey, I want to learn, right? And I'm going to help you learn. So first of all, I want to introduce y'all to something that we're rolling out in a month or two called Dream Motivates University, where from the Entrepreneur Blueprint, I asked, hey, can you donate some knowledge to my university? I want to change the educational system that was systemic, handed down to us, for where we didn't understand how to make money or leverage credit or learn credit or none of that on my platform. And she said, absolutely. So let's talk about the decision you made in 2020 and how it's just really kind of cultivating and changing your situation right now.
Okay, so in 2020, I finally made the decision to get into the short-term rental space.
Boom.
Shout out to my mentor, TJ Tajani. When I finally just made that decision, life just kind of opened up. I started to think about things differently. I started to learn so many different things. And it's just like this for me right now.
And for you guys who are trying to figure out what the short-term rental space is, that's a really good, nice term for the Airbnbs and stuff like that. But this in particular story, when it got to this part, I said, pause. I got to get you on the show, all the stuff that you're doing and what you got going on, and how humble and focused you are in this process. And tell me if you don't want to say it, but can you please tell them the sacrifice that you're doing right now to do this, like your living space? Now, if you don't want to, if you don't want to share that, okay, cool. And when she said this, I was like, you know what? You get it. I'm done. We connected. Let's get this cracking. This was it. When you said this, I had to kind of like, I think I was drinking some water, and you know how the water go down slow. I was like, hold up, man, I almost choked. What are you doing as a sacrificial seed to get your business to the 5-star? By the way, it is a 5-star situation.
I remain at 5 stars.
It's a 5-star. She's pretty much a super host at this point. What are you doing right now in the side? I need y'all to pay attention. Please listen to what she's about to say. What are you doing?
So, what I did was I had an apartment, I had a 2-bedroom apartment. I had 2 vehicles. One was a Mercedes Benz. Like, I lived how I wanted to live, but I knew that I wanted more And with wanting more, I had to evaluate what I was ready to give up. So with that, I said, you know what? I obviously need a car, so I'm not going to, give up my car. But one thing I could give up is this big old apartment that I'm in. I could give up this big apartment, and instead of being in somebody else's space and go live with somebody, I'm going to go rent a room.
I need y'all to listen. Don't let that go by. She left the apartment, which is player. The apartment was dope. And said, you know what? I don't need this. I'm focused on my bag right now to take it to now. And rented out a room. But go ahead.
So I rented out a room. Because if you think about it, you're only in one room at a time anyways. So my bills were about a little over $2,000 a month. That's just for my apartment, all the utilities. I found a room that cost me $470 with everything included.
Yo, it's like, and it's funny because Shorty is making a significant amount of bread on real estate, closing real estate houses, doing leases, properties, rentals.
Yeah.
She showed. I was like, because I didn't believe. She's like, I was like, stop playing.
I pay $470 a month.
Yo, I have not heard this Rocky Balboa story from nobody other than maybe some of my people's up in Philly, maybe. But she said, you know what, the dream was bigger than her.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? She knew that to get what where others don't, you got to do what others don't.
Yep.
You pretty much. Now you're cash flow and ready for...
I'm saving over $1,500 a month. So that money that I was spending on just paying somebody for, because I was never home because I was grinding. Now that same money is now going into my business.
Now y'all heard she said she was grinding. And I'm about to do another commercial. Shout out to the hustle and grind. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even ask her, so we twinkied out today. Yeah. I didn't even ask her the word is. The energy say, you know what? Oh, we're going to be on the show today. Shorty got one. And she say, yo, I love this.
Yeah.
Shout out to the hustle and grind gear. If you're interested, hit your boy up on the IG at Dream Motivates. But back to our scheduled program. So, you like the commercial?
Yeah, I like it.
So, all right. Now we're in the apartment. We grind. This is current right now. Mm-hmm. So you grinding, you cash flow. Do you feel like you kind of like a butterfly, like just, because some of this stuff is stressful, like mortgage, this. You're like, nah, I'm good. I'm in this room.
Mm-hmm. I'm at peace.
That's what's up.
I'm at pure peace because I can do anything that I need to do. Think about it. If my bills is $2,000 a month and I got to put some money into my business, I now got to decide whether I'm going to pay my rent or put it into my business.
Yeah.
How easy is it for you to call somebody? How many people can you call and be like, let me get $2,000? But I can call somebody and be like, give me $400.
Exactly.
It's a whole lot easier.
Whole lot easier.
The
philosophy is dope, and I commend you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to get you on the Entrepreneur Blueprint. And killing the game when it comes to the Airbnb short-term rental space. So I asked her to share with us some knowledge. So if you guys are interested in learning how to start the Airbnb space, how to grind it out in that space, or the short-term rental space that she tells me to always refer to, and she'll tell you why she says that inside the course, hit us up on the course at dreammediaonline@gmail. Hit me on the email right there, dreammediaonline@gmail, or just hit me on the DM at Dream Motivates, and we're gonna have a course ready for you, donated from Miss Veneisha Brown and her whole entity that she got going on. And it's just an exciting experience to know somebody that's humble enough to give and to take care of other people. I want you to give a shout out to your support system, because you got some, and I cut for your peoples and how they grinding out, because you made some good connections in Houston. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Shout out your peoples out, let them know that you're looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out who's rocking with you, and let everybody know how we can connect with you.
So I can definitely say my support system that I have grown has just been, I love them. My best friend, shout out to Serena. We've been friends since we was 5 years old.
Serena, what's good?
Like, she go, I go.
Is that the one in the TikTok?
No, she would never do it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Serena's the introvert.
Yeah, Serena would never do
Okay,
it.
got you.
But she be ready.
Right.
Shout out to my mom, of course, my brother. I call him my twin, Steven. And some of my clients actually are my support system.
That's what's up.
Like my clients, like I said, they become family. So DJ, Jackie, Ralph, like they really have become family to me. They hold me down. They see me as Superwoman.
Yeah.
And they big me up.
Yeah, then once you take the glasses off, come on with it. Then you put the glasses on. So let's go ahead and connect with you. So introducing for the very first time for you guys to go ahead and chime in and check her out. VeneishaBrown.com. She owns it. It's going to look great. We're building that right now, but it's about time to get to the video. Y'all should check it out. Also on IG. Where we at?
IG, Veneisha Brown _realty.
All right. And on Facebook?
Veneisha Brown.
And on TikTok. I want y'all to check out her TikTok.
B2B.
Beat up. And we ain't gonna talk about what they call it that. But yeah, B2B on TikTok. Man, you get to see her personality. I really want your TikTok to blow up because the TikTok is off the chain. I cut for the TikTok.
Check me out.
Yeah. So real quick before we end, I just want to say thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being inspiration to young women across the world, just entrepreneurs across the world that's looking at this podcast. And I can't wait to grow and so with you and whatever we can do from Dream Media on side and Dream Motivate side. I appreciate you just trusting us with your brand. And I just speak life into your business, everything that you touch. I just wanted to blow up and make sure that, obviously you're a woman of faith and I love that you keep God first. So shout out to you in your career and thank you for being on the Entrepreneur Blueprint once again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I look forward.
This is your boy Dream with Dream Motivates, holding it down once again, the Entrepreneur Blueprint right here. Let's go.